everybody. My name is Gagan Dhillon. I work at West P&I Club, and we are the first P&I club to open an office in Dubai. I'm about to talk to you about how P&I links with the operational efficiency in green shipping. So, P&I effectively is third-party insurance. What we do is we collaborate with 11 other clubs forming the international group. Now, the 12 clubs within the international group provide third-party insurance to 90% of the ship owners, plus charterers. So we have insurance facilities available for owners, charterer members, and wider products which a lot of clubs offer. Why this is important is it is to give you an idea of who P&I is and how it's going to link to operational efficiency, especially in green shipping. West is a over 150-year-old club. We insure over 5,000 vessels, mainly blue water tonnage. And we are, as I said, the first club to establish in Dubai, but at the same time, we also have offices worldwide. Strategic link between P&I insurance, operational efficiency, green shipping, it all stems from the tanker volatility, especially when we look at tankers. It all stems from the tanker volatility in the market, the environmental pressures, focus on operational efficiency and sustainability, which is critical right now, explore strategic links and how to navigate them, environmental regulations, technical transformations, and operational resilience. This brings us to the real challenge in the industry. What are the industry challenges? The regulatory landscape. So the fluctuating oil demands adds to the uncertainty, a word we've heard quite a few times today. What happens with this and how does this link to insurance? So one of the biggest concerns for the insurance market is the aging fleet. Not just the aging fleet that was discussed in the previous morning session about the dark fleet, but also in the mainstream fleet. There is a huge aging population. We heard in the previous talk that there's a new build supply, there are more ships being built, there are ships being bought, but the ships being built are way less than the ships that need to be scrapped or that are aging. This causes insurance issues. What insurance relies on is renewal of the fleets, newer fleets in the market, newer ships. Geopolitical issues, I would actually name them geo-economical issues, because that's what the world has come to. These are linked to economics. They're not purely real challenge in the industry. What are the industry challenges? The regulatory landscape. So the fluctuating oil demands adds to the uncertainty, a word we've heard quite a few times today. What happens with this and how does this link to insurance? So one of the biggest concerns for the insurance market is the aging fleet. Not just the aging fleet that was discussed in the previous morning session about the dark fleet, but also in the mainstream fleet. There is a huge aging population. We heard in the previous talk that there's a new build supply, there are more ships being built, there are ships being bought, but the ships being built are way less than the ships that need to be scrapped or that are aging. This causes insurance issues. What insurance relies on is renewal of the fleets, newer fleets in the market, newer ships. Geopolitical issues, I would actually name them geo-economical issues, because that's what the world has come to. These are linked to economics. They're not purely political anymore. There is restructuring, there is renewal, there is everything happening, but what about capacity and balancing capacity, balancing efficiency? We do not replace old tonnage with new tonnage just because it needs to be done. What about retrofitting these ships? What about the retrofitting lasting long? How does that influence your insurance premiums? How does that influence the issues that are going to arise with it? The safety concerns. Net zero targets, GHG emissions from ships by 2050 to net zero, achievable very much. How is that achievable? Are we ready for ammonia? We might be ready for grey ammonia. Are we ready with green ammonia? How does that affect if something goes wrong? Has the insurance even confirmed that if you're burning ammonia or you're using ammonia as fuel and suddenly there is a big incident, that'll be covered? There are concerns in the market, and the concerns are valid. It's not just the container ships which are having incidents, it's also the tanker industry, which is moving very quickly in the right direction, but needs support. That's where we come in as a P&I club, to support our members, to help them navigate through these challenges, whether they are industry challenges or regulatory challenges. There's a big buzzword on the market, artificial intelligence. It's, in a way, always been there. We've been working with it for years. Everything that happens on ship is somewhere linked to some kind of technology advancement. Yes, it's got a nice buzzword now called artificial intelligence, which is working very well till it works. The day it doesn't work, that's when the problem starts. That's when people come to us and say, oh, I've got this issue. It's because of this artificial intelligence software that we're involved. And now what do? Would you cover the risk? There are certain risks that are exempt. Read the policy carefully. Somebody mentioned contracts. It's a very good point. Contracts need to be looked at. Not just shipping contracts, but also your insurance contracts. We forget who is going to cover these risks, who's going to pay if something goes wrong. There are issues with fuel. There are issues with digitalisation. We are trying to make headway in the right direction as an industry, but we're not there. We are in the interim phase of the changeover. One of the presenters in the previous morning session said that the changeover time has happened before. We've changed over from one fuel to the other. We have managed. So as an industry, I think the industry will manage. I think it's the regulatory landscape that has changed drastically. When SOLAS came in, it was just SOLAS. When MARPOL came in, it was just about MARPOL. Right now, there is a whole barge of regulatory issues, whether it is sanctions, whether it is emissions, and people are confused. The IMO is confused, clearly. So where do we go from here? What we forget in all this is our safety enhancements, our crew welfare. We talk about really big things. We want to achieve them. We want to go in the right direction. We're thinking about our crew, but we're only thinking small. We're not thinking what's going to happen to them. Somebody said, are they trained up? And there was a stat in the morning which showed hardly any of them are even ready for fuel transitions, let alone working with them, let alone making that transition, let alone even crew being available to work on ships. Another 10, 20 years, we might not have crew available to work on ships. We talk of autonomous ships, but we don't have any ability to regulate how these autonomous ships' claims would be dealt with if they had a collision. Would the insurers cover it? We're working on it. The P&I clubs are heavily involved to try and work on models which would work in the future, but we're a long way away. Internet is quite patchy on ships. Yes, there are certain big players in the market who are investing heavily, whether that is on sustainability, green, crew welfare, everything. But there are a lot of small players in the market who actually run the tanker industry, the bulk carrier industry. They are all smaller players. They all need support. Who is supporting them? So we as P&I, as the international group, try and provide that support where we have knowledge from the industry, whether that is coming from our other members, our bigger members who are making these transitions, and then we share the knowledge where we can. But they do need a lot of support from the wider industry too. P&I's role is not just limited to injury of crews, illness of crews, repatriation of crews. It also extends to third-party liabilities when something goes wrong. When the big incidents happen, there are injuries and illnesses and deaths and long-term issues to other people. All this has effect not just on you as ship owners, but also you as consumers. This flows down to all of us. Finally, things are getting expensive, and they will get more expensive. There was a talk in the morning about the nature of P&I and the fact that insurance is a buzzword today, which is very interesting for me, because I'd heard that on some of these presentations earlier on, insurance would not come up. But today, insurance, sitting here, I've heard quite a few times. And Dr. Ibrahim said that general increase is already being announced by some of the clubs. Some of the clubs have announced 8% yesterday. It's true. And why is the question? Why is everything getting expensive? Not why are we just having more incidents? Why is each incident costing more? And where will the cost go? The cost will come down to the consumer, to all of us. Financial and operational resilience is that's where we all come in. That's where it all closes up. That's where it all connects. So it's not just about leveraging the market and profitability. It's also about sustainability on a financial front, which some people forget. From a P&I perspective and from an insurance perspective, all we can do is support the market, which we are. We are here to support our membership in the Middle East and wider. We are here to provide guidance, and we are here to talk about things in these forums and wider. Thank you so much for listening. In conclusion, all I would say is that the industry as a whole will grow, will develop, and will deliver. By 2050, we will have delivered our goals. I think the wider question to ask is the market ready? Are we going to be on green ships, green tankers, transporting still oil? Thank you.